Welcome, stranger. Been a while. This video is about setting the exposure on an a Pentax SP500 and the SP1000. The cameras are pretty much identical except for the SP1000 goes to 1000 and it doesn't. It has the self timer, but other than that, the cameras are identical. History. Months back, I did a video on how to set the exposure on SLRs just using a light panel, and I was real proud of myself until I realized that most photographers didn't even know where the adjustment point was in their cameras. So I started this playlist, this series on how to the adjustment point. I'll get it here. I will. The adjustment point was on the different cameras. And like I said, this one's on the Pentax SP500. So what else? The adjustment's over on the rewind side. And unusual, the early cameras had holes in the covers, so you could make the adjustment without taking the top cover off. And this is one of those cameras, which makes it real easy. So I'm going to show you how to get the rewind knob off and stuff out of the way, and show you where the hole's at to adjust the meter. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, let's get started. What do we need to do here? Kind of rusty. Hadn't made a video in a few weeks. Here's the camera. Honeywell Pentax. It's a pretty little camera. I think made back in the 70s, 71, whatever it was. There's proof. SP500. And like I said in the intro, this camera is identical to the 1000. So everything that I'm going to show you here, need to replace those gloves, getting ready, applies to this one also. Now on a normal SLR, to get to adjust the meter, you have to remove the top cover, but not on this SP500 or 1000. The early cameras, get my pointer here, had holes in the top cover to adjust the meter, which was really handy. Usually it was along the back here. There would be a little, I don't know what you'd call it, a plug that you removed. It was threaded, and you just stuck a screwdriver inside, like so maybe, and adjusted your meter. And the owner could do that real easy. And later they removed that, which I was sorry to see. And so they had to take it to a shop and have the whole top cover removed to adjust that meter setting, which I guess made more work for the camera repairman, but didn't help out the owner any as far as money was concerned. So the on the SP500 and 1000, the adjustment is right about here underneath the rewind knob, and it just takes a second to get to it. So hopefully this video will not be very long. First thing we need to do is stick our tweezers in here. You always want to stick something flat in there, not a screwdriver that's round. It applies too much pressure in one point and can dent or even break off those prongs, one of those prongs. I know I've done it in the past if this was really on tight. And you don't want to use this like I just did, pulling it out like this, because I've broken those off too. Out of habit, I pull it out, but what you want to do is push this up and grab it like so, and then twist it counterclockwise like so, and just unwind it like that and set that aside. Over here in my tray, let's see if so back is open and we got our rewind there. This little clip holds it in place, so just push it down or you can push it up, it doesn't make a difference. But if for some reason you close the back while you're working on the camera, you're going to have to put this knob back on here to be able to pull up to open the back. Just thought I'd let you know. Customers have brought in cameras before and they couldn't get the back open. For one reason, sometimes they push this too far down and it's flat and you can't get a hold of it. So in fact, you can see the notch right along here where the spring engages down the camera. And if you press really hard, that spring will jump over that lip and it'll go down too far. You won't be able to grip it usually, and then you'll have to take it to a repair shop so they can pull this out to open your camera up. Just a little thing there that's what these videos are for, is to teach you from getting in trouble. Is that dirty? Let's see here. It looks dirty. Oops. I'm in my way. Always in the way of my camera. Let's see if I can clean that a little bit. Yeah, it looks a lot better. It's been laying on my desk several days. I guess I picked up some dust. Camera repair shops are full of dust because you're constantly cleaning cameras. But anyway, just wanted to warn you about that. Don't push it down too far. Use your cap to grip it and pull it up to open the back if you close the back. Or you can do something like, if you want to, you put a piece of tape across here and then put this down and tape it over just to kind of get it out of the way. The reason I'm mentioning this because when you work on a camera, there's some screws right under here. And normally what you'll do is peel this leather off and take those screws out and remove the back from the camera first thing to get it out of the way so that doesn't happen, so you don't lock it like so. You could also, sometimes on some cameras, there's two screws here. You can remove them and then remove the latch to get the back open. Either one's a hassle, just so you know, and you'll be careful. I'm going to go ahead and close that. Okay. Next thing you'll see here is you'll see a hole here and a hole here. Pentax again made it very simple for us. And I need the pliers. And since I prepared everything and was ready to go, the pliers were over in my tray and not out on the table like they should have been. Again, counterclockwise, like so. And be sure and do like I did and scratch it. There we go, undo it there. That's a camera repairman. There. It's very light, but still it irritates me. I should know better. It's harder to do things like this on camera than it is off camera. And you make mistakes. And I just made a boo-boo like so. Set that aside. The other. Now this lifts up like this. And this right here goes there. If you will look, I'll set that aside, and you say, well, what's that? That's grease. When a camera repairman puts it back together, in this case it'll be you, since you're working on it, this has to stay in that groove. As you can see, it's got a groove around it. And what'll happen sometimes if you don't put grease on it and keep it in place is it'll ride up on this lip here like this. And as you tighten it down, you'll think, well, okay, it's tight. But it's not tight. It's got it's caught here on the lip, and it's not down all the way. So you can try hit or miss if you want to, but I always put a little grease on it just to hold it in place when I'm screwing this cover down. You see these little things here, what a repairman teaching is for. You can take it apart without all that knowledge, but that can help you maybe get out of trouble. This plate here just covers it. It's for dust. Okay. And that's it. I'm going to see here. I don't know if we can. I didn't try ahead of time to see if this was going to work or not. Right there. See, you can see the silver. And you can see it there. It's a circular resistor ring. I think they would call it a pot, which is shorthand for what? Having trouble with my brain. But to adjust it, you stick your point right about here. And this is not going to be fun. Right there. And then you can go clockwise or counterclockwise. If this were like a letter C, and one end of it is about over here, and so that point here, that where it's making contact, can go all the way around to here, or all the way around to here, or anywhere in between. So you move that back and forth, stomach's acting up there, until you get your needle here. It's on this side, and the center. Now, I'm assuming that you're setting your exposure, in which case your lens has to be on here, and you have to. I've got a video on how to set up these things up, but some people may want to use it and some not. But if you're going to set your meter, you need to set your f-stop, and you need to set your speed, and you need to set your ASA. In other words, for whatever light source you got. Like maybe you're just pointing it at the horizon, and that's all you want. Or let's say that your pictures are constantly coming out too light or too dark. Well, then what you do is you look through here at your needle, and it'll have a plus mark and a minus mark, and I forget which is which. That's not important. When you look through it, you'll see. But you either want that needle to go up or you want it to go down. But you get the idea. You want to add exposure or reduce exposure. And so you would look through there. You might center it and then, get it centered first, because that's when you take your pictures, it's centered. But if they're constantly light or dark, what you want to do is you want to move that needle slightly up this way, or slightly down to add or subtract exposure. And so to move that needle, you move this pot here. See it pretty good. You can catch a little dot of light there, but just move it a little left or right. The thing is, unless the camera's really far off, you don't need to move it much. In other words, you could move it slightly, the direction you think it needs to go, and go ahead and shoot a roll through it. And then if it's right, leave it alone. And if it's not, come back and adjust it again. It's not that big of a deal, really. But that's how I was telling you that it's nice that Pentax put this hole here. It makes it so much simpler. And the owner can adjust this if he can get the rewind off. Okay. That should about do it. And I probably shouldn't waste your time. If you feel like you've got it, go ahead and stop now. But if you want to watch, well, you're welcome to watch. I won't charge you too much. Let's see. This little plate here, I have occasionally in the past tightened down the screw above it with it off center and got caught on the lip. Say in this case it would be on this side. Again, you've got to get it centered before you put down that top. And the next thing you've got to do is, again, you've got to get this in here, and you've got that grease is not holding it too well in place. If it was really doing its job, I could turn this thing over and it would not fall off, but I evidently didn't put enough grease, or I should have used a thicker grease, because I don't think that's going to work. Maybe it stayed together. Can't see it. But now you can see I've got all kinds of problems here. Get a different tool over here. This little wooden, like a paintbrush thing. I made it myself. I've got pointers, but I need something sharper. And this one right here, for some reason, is it's easier to do when you're working off camera. I'm looking at the monitor trying to do this, but you can see there, you get it lined up all the way best you can, and before you put your screw in. But this has to be in the right place. The clip underneath it has to be in its track, and this bottom one has to be also in the proper place, all three of them, which Pentax did a good job, but that it's kind of a headache. And can I probably not. Can I tighten that? I don't think so. I'm gonna switch cameras here. There we go. See if that helps me any. I can't see. I may have to reassemble it and turn the camera off and turn the camera back on. I don't know if I can do this on camera, and I'm moving everything around, but that's okay. At least when you do it yourself, you'll know what's going on, so you don't have the same problem. Feel like the threads are catching. Okay, there we go. Threads are catching. I didn't tighten it all the way down, but this is basically what you want. You can feel that everything's kind of in its groove or in its notch or in the proper place as I turn this around. If it's not, you can kind of feel it. You can feel that something's binding as you turn it all the way around. But then the thing is that you want to tighten this, and why can I not see? Not on camera. Maybe it's just a bad day to make a video. There we go, tightening it. Maybe even scratching it. It's a good thing I own this camera. If this was a customer unit, I'd be in trouble. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and tightened that down off camera. And I'm applying a little bit of pressure to it there and slipping, I'm going to stop while I can. Anyway, it's tight. Well, why did I do all that? Because when it's down and tight is the final test. If you tighten that collar on there and you've done anything wrong, this won't turn when you use your fingers and try to turn it. It will, if it catches on a lip on either of the two that I was showing you there, this won't turn. And then you've got to loosen this and put everything back kind of the way it should be. Put that center nut back down and try again. It helps to turn this a little bit. If you can catch a few threads, turn it and screw it down a little bit. Test it again, a few more. You'll get it. It's just a headache sometimes. That's the reason I'm showing it to you, because if I can screw this up after repairing for 45 years, you might screw it up too. Okay, now we put down this little rewind knob. Pull up. We've got to pull it up to put my tweezers in the prong down here, like so. And then go ahead and tighten it up pretty tight, or as tight as you can get it. It's not that important. You've worked on it. If it comes loose, you can tighten it back. There we go. Okay. And that's how you set the exposure on this particular camera. Just get that rewind knob off. Try to do a better job than I did. And, excuse me, get that needle inside, either in a plus or minus position, and then shoot some prints or slides. Slides is better. When you shoot prints, the printer will adjust the prints to try to give you a good print. So in other words, if your negatives were overexposed, it would still try to give you a good print. It would adjust it. Or if they were underexposed, again, the printer would expose the paper and try to give you a good picture back. So even though your camera may be underexposing a little bit, say half stop, you'll still get back good pictures because the printer is going to adjust them. The only way to test it for sure is with slide film. With slide film, there's no cheating then. Whatever you get back to the slides is what your camera is doing. I always suggest that people shoot slides through their camera now and then to check the camera and make sure everything's working properly, because if you're shooting prints, your printer is going to adjust those prints when it makes exposure on the paper. The machine will, at least that way, and you won't even know if your camera is under or overexposing. Okay, that's about it. That's how to adjust the exposure on a Honeywell Pentax SP500.